You are supernatural. When it comes to creating anything in your life, you need to understand that you are supernatural. Your body already has everything inside of it that it needs in order to create supernatural experiences. You don't need any psychedelics, you don't need any drugs, you don't need alcohol, you don't need anything else outside of you to create the experiences that you want to have. Now, we know about, I've already spoken about neuroplasticity, and just kind of like the metaphysics behind manifestation, right? Now, one of the things that we haven't talked about on this channel yet is the pineal gland or the pineal gland, whichever way you want to pronounce it. But that is literally one of let's say that is one of the glands in the body that connects the physical world and our 3D reality that we see every day to the spiritual 4 and 5D world that we don't necessarily see, but we can feel the energy, frequencies, vibrations. That pineal gland, which is a very little gland, that if you were to cross, if you were to put like a rod through your head, from the middle center of your head, and then through your ears, that cross section would be the pineal gland, right? Now that gland is responsible for some really amazing things. So when we're going through the changes that you go through with meditation and really having like higher consciousness and things like that, the biological changes that are happening are, helped or filtered through the pineal gland, because that is where we produce melatonin. And when melatonin is given certain, instructions, it changes and it turns into different derivatives. Sometimes there's things called DMT, like dimethyltryptamine, and those chemicals change your body biologically to do certain things. So now, if you're trying to manifest health, right? You are in your meditations for an hour, 2 hours a day, however long you do your meditations, and you start to notice some change. What happens is your body is slowly getting a biological upgrade so that you're able to reflect the things that you're envisioning when you meditate. So if you're visualizing or you're meditating and you're thinking about better health, or if you're thinking about a new relationship, or if you're thinking about a new job, or wealth, or a better lifestyle, you're going to be able to experience those things based on the chemicals that your body produces. So all of this, when it comes to manifestation, is scientifically backed. So this is not just some woo-woo, hocus-pocus type of thing that's happening here. You're literally changing your body to look, feel, think, and act the way that it needs to in order to suit your purpose. So one of the things that we do just in our everyday life, we'll focus on our current environment, and where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you're only focused on the bills that you have, the debt that you have, the stress, the fact that your kids don't listen, or they're disruptive, or they're driving you crazy, if you're focused on your partner and your bad relationship, if you're focused on your estranged relationship with your parents or your siblings or anyone that you're having a difficult time, that's what you get more of. So to change your reality, you have to change your focus. Again, where your energy goes, when your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you want a different energy, you have to change your attention. Where is your attention at right now? If your attention has been on all the dysfunction in your life, the frustration, everything that's going wrong, everything that's just not feeling and looking the way you want it to, then it's no wonder why you're experiencing more and more of that. And you got to understand as well, you don't manifest or you don't attract, what you want. You don't necessarily attract what you want. You attract who you are. So who you're being and how you're vibrating, your frequency says everything. That's how you'll be able to attract anything to you. So you really got to realize, what is my focus? Am I focused on the stress in my life? Am I focused on all the ways things aren't going right? Am I focused on the things that make me uncomfortable? Am I focused on the things that really frustrate me and make me sad or stress me out? Am I focused on the things that cause me anxiety? So many people are literally suffering when they don't have to. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to be in stress. You don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be in dismay all the time. You can change that by changing your focus. And I know it's difficult because when you open your eyes, even if you meditate for 2 hours, when you open your eyes and everything in your reality looks the same, it is sometimes difficult to keep your focus on the things that you want when your whole reality is communicating something different. But I promise you, the best way to get to where you want to go and the fastest way is to continue to place your focus on what you want and not necessarily what you have. Okay? And then you have to also make sure that your actions and your feelings are in alignment with that. So when it comes down to, like I said, you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are, right? So if you want love, if you want a loving relationship, if you want loving friendships, you have to first be that loving partner, be that loving friend. Even when you're going out through the world and you're meeting strangers, how are you showing up? Are you showing up frustrated? Are you showing up as a person who hates everyone? Or are you showing up as loving? Are you showing up as graceful? Are you showing up as compassionate? That is a completely different energy and frequency, and it's much more high vibrational in alignment with what you want than a vibration of frustration, being mad at the world, hating everyone. You got to understand that all of these things are connected, okay? And if we understand the law of polarity, which is everything has a polar opposite. There's up and down, north, south, east, west, good, bad, love, hate. There's always an opposite. And so when you're experiencing these extreme emotions, remember there is another side of that coin. And you always want to be on the side of the coin that suits your purpose. So if you're angry, frustrated, feeling hatred, envy, jealousy, stress, those things are probably not conducive to the life you want to live. Most people, I'm sure, are not trying to manifest discord, mayhem, frustration, anger, messy relationships. I'm sure most of you are not trying to manifest that. And if you are, you probably just got to keep doing what you're doing and you'll be fine. But if you're trying to manifest really good relationships, if you're trying to manifest a really good work life or your own business or just things working out for you in the very best way possible, then again, you have to change your focus. You have to change your focus. So many people come in my comments or my inbox and they ask questions or say things, and I can tell just by the way they're saying things, and they take a victim mindset that, yeah, you were causing all these things whether you know it or not. And it may be a hard pill to swallow. Even times when I've looked at certain situations in my own life and I'm like, Dad, I caused this, I brought this on myself. I have no one else to blame. And so that could be a hard pill to swallow, but you're at a good place when you really do decide that you're going to take accountability. You're not going to blame anyone else. You're not going to put all your problems on anyone else. And you're going to stand in that mess and you're going to change it. And you're going to say, okay, this may be my reality now, but what I'm going to do is work diligently day in and day out to change it. And most of it, thankfully, is energetics. Most of it is mindset. Most of it is making sure that your heart and your mind are in sync and that they're moving in a direction that gives you the momentum to begin to see the changes you want to see in your life. That's what the whole thing is when it comes to manifestation. Making sure your energy is where it needs to be. Staying there no matter what. Because one thing I will tell you too, you'll notice that when you start this journey, you'll have this enlightenment or this awakening, and you feel so good in the beginning. You feel amazing in the beginning. But then you'll start to notice that things start taking a turn, and it seems like all hell breaks loose. Like everything you can imagine will start to happen. Sometimes it may seem even worse than it was before you started your manifestation journey, or before you started being more conscious, or before you started meditating, or before you started being just getting more into aligning yourself. This, I'm telling you, this is going to happen. So just expect it. And if you're experiencing it now, great. You're in a great position. Because guess what happens after that? If you persevere through those difficult times, through all those challenges, I guarantee you will come out on top. Why? Because you are not able to continue on finding all these different challenges and hardships without eventually making it to success. Okay? Persistence does not recognize failure. It doesn't. So eventually you're gonna outrun the fear, you're gonna outrun the failure, you're gonna outrun the everything that's trying to get you and hold you back. You're gonna break those chains, get out those shackles, whatever is trying to hold you back will no longer be able to. Just think of people that like Sha'Carri Richardson, right? Usain Bolt, and like all these people like the Olympics. There gotta be something in them. The fire gotta be burning in them so deep and hot that they see that there's a chance that no matter what, I don't care if I'm with all these other people, standing in line with all these other people with all these great records, even people who may have already won an Olympic gold medal. I don't care if I'm standing in line with them. I'm gonna win this competition right here and right now. And they go after it and nothing gets behind them. Sha'Carri Richardson was in 4th place when she was handed the baton. And she still came out on top. Why? Because she did not let the fact that she was in 4th place hold her back. Many people could have been in that 4th place position and still been at the 4th place position when they crossed that finish line. She did not. She came out on top and got an Olympic gold medal. And that will forever go down in history. And that is the same kind of success you can see in your own life if you continue believing. She didn't get that medal because she happened upon it or luck got her there. No, she went in knowing she was a winner. She came back with a vengeance. She knew she wasn't able to come to that last Olympics game, and she spent the last 4 years making sure she was prepared to take the gold. And that's the mindset you gotta have when you're trying to change your life, especially when your life is a complete mess. Especially then, because you're gonna have things coming from you everywhere. For some of you, it's not just your job. For some of you, it's not just your living situation. For some of you, it's not just your friendships or your relationships or your children. For some of you, it is every area in your life, even health. Every area in your life is a mess. And it can be so overwhelming. And you are the person who needs to hear this the most. You gotta sit down. You gotta put aside all of the stuff that's going on in your life. You gotta make time for you. You gotta make time for you. And so you sit down and you have your meditations. And if you're going through a lot of stress, you need to give yourself at least 30 minutes. But most likely more. An hour will be great. But at least 30 minutes of time just visualizing how perfect things can be, how good it can get. You have to give yourself that time and let yourself feel those emotions, because those emotions change you, again, biologically. This is not just, again, some hocus pocus. This is a biological change. Your body cannot tell the difference between what's vividly imagined and what's happening in your actual reality. So when you vividly imagine the goodness of life over and over and over and over again, how could you not win? How could you not see that in your reality? How could you not experience the goodness, the greatness of life? How could you not? It is going to happen. And I want you guys to be encouraged to keep doing the work. You will have struggles. This is life. Things are going to come at you. It does not mean that because you are focused on these great things that life is not going to happen and that things won't come up. It doesn't mean that. But when they come up, you can take a higher perspective, and you can look down at your situation and say, all right, I know you're here to throw me off the path, and I'm not going to let you do that. Because remember, emotions, feeling is the secret. So anything that happens that throw you off emotionally, you already know this is a challenge that's trying to get me off track. and I'm not going to let you get there. I'm going to stay in my high vibe. I'm going to stay in my high frequency. I'm going to keep those high emotions, and I'm going to keep my eyes focused on the prize. Every single challenge you go through, that should be your mindset. And don't get me wrong, we are human. Sometimes we're going to go through things and we're going to react the same way every human will react. We're going to get frustrated. We're going to get sad. We're going to get down. But do not let yourself stay in those emotions for long. When you feel yourself being in low vibrational emotions or frequencies, you have to do something about it. And so this is your sign. If you are in a low vibrational state, decide right now, make a decision right now that this is not going to be your state any longer. Sit yourself down, close your eyes, meditate, find a meditation. There's a million different meditations on YouTube. Dr. Joe has some of the best meditations, but they are a little more advanced. You want to start with the beginner ones. On his website, there are paid ones though, but if you want to find any free ones, you can go ahead and look on YouTube, millions of them. There are a plethora of meditations on YouTube for all different kinds of things. Stress, anxiety, wealth, health, whatever it is. But you gotta be willing to do the work. And like I said, thankfully, the work is actually not what we would think it is, going out and doing this, meeting people, networking, working yourself to death. That's not the work I'm talking about. It's the inner work. And when you do the inner work, I guarantee you, you're gonna see it projected out in the outer world. But you gotta do the inner work. And the inner work makes it so much sweeter because now synchronicities start happening. You have serendipities, and you're like, there's no way these things could have magically unfolded the way they did other than me doing the kind of work that I've been doing. And that's when you'll know, you'll start to have those reminders and the confirmations. And believe me, there's no such thing as a coincidence. When you see something that seems like a coincidence, it's a synchronicity. And know that because you started doing the work, life is starting to synchronize, and you are starting to have amazing connections and moments and experiences because you're doing the work. And let that be your fuel to keep you going. Let that be the fuel to keep you moving towards your ultimate goal. And never look away from this. Never go back to your old life. Because if you do, you're going to experience the same things. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you will always get what you've gotten. So you got to do something differently. And remember, life is not happening to you. Life is happening through you. And you can be, do, or have anything. So be, do, or have anything. I love you guys. We'll talk soon.